Hi folks, Trev here. In this video I'm going to help you to build a profitable Google AdWords campaign. So first things first, why use Google? Well, obviously 90% of searches online are done on Google, but more importantly it's very cheap. It's cheap, cheap as €5, the price of a pint. You can have someone click into your ad if they search, web design or BER search or painter in Dublin, and they'll go to your website, and it's then up to you to convert them. So what's the aim of your Google AdWords campaign? Is obviously you want to get it profitable, but the numbers you should be looking at are 1 to 10. So for every €1 you spend, you get €10 back. You're not going to get there straight away. If that was the case, everybody would do it. So at the start, you have to spend a little bit more, but in the end, ultimately, you're looking to spend out €1 and get €10 out. Put in 1,000, get €10,000 out. So how does Google put a value on how much you should pay them for these AdWords? So we'll base it on your product or service being €100 in profit for every can of Coke you sell or every website you design. Let's say you make €100 profit on that outside of any marketing spend you might have. So what Google does is, and I have a link down the bottom, which I found it difficult to get to through Google, but I found it eventually. They have a thing called lifetime value per conversion. So this is very important, which means that you will be paying a lot more. Everybody will be. I call it the Google tax, but you will also get the Google bounce off it. So you can achieve that 1 to 10 ratio. So what Google says is, if your company is profitable of €100 for every product, each conversion is worth €100. They want to take 15% of that as a word of mouth tax, let's call it. So if you make £100, they don't want you to pay just €50 or even €90, so you make €10 after the ad spend. They want you to pay 100 plus 15%, €115. They also have a lifetime value per conversion. So they are saying that if you get a sale through AdWords, there's a lifetime value to that customer. So whilst you might only make €100 on the first transaction, you may very well make more money in the future. They want payment for that as well. So that amount is 167% of what your profit is. So if you make €100, they want to take another 167 off you for that, the cost of that keyword. So now you're looking at 167% plus 15%. So it works out as, if you were to take taxes into account, probably just under 3 times the amount. So if you're taking €100 in, they want you to pay £300 per keyword. If you're taking €1 in profit, they want you to pay €3 in profit. Remember, the links are all down the bottom as well. But what you have to remember as well is that you might not be in business for the next 10 years. Competitors might come along and offer your product or services cheaper. So it's not exactly true that you will actually make 3 times the amount over the next 10 or 20 years. Those customers might move somewhere else, or they might decide that they don't want to buy your products anymore. How much of your budget should you spend on marketing? So I would say 50% or less of your budget should be spent on marketing. So especially if you're an internet business or an internet sole trader, or most of your stuff is online, you might not have as many employees, you might not have a premises to rent out, you might not have insurance. So 50% or less of your budget should be spent on marketing. I wouldn't spend it on TV or radio or billboards, because they're not trackable and they're not cheap. So you're probably going to pay out £500 or £5,000 for an ad that runs from the 1st of January to the 1st of February, and you might get sales out of it, you might not. Let's say you get a lot of sales out of it, but you can't track them. Well, you don't know if it can be attributed to your advert. It could be attributed to an e-zine you sent out, or a blog post you put up on your website. Another thing you need to do is the very first thing you should do is track conversions. So if you're an online shop, track when the purchase order went through. If you're a lead generation website, so you can't give a price, and by all means, use our website, Quotage, to get some free leads for your business. But if you're an accountant or a builder or a painter, or you can't put a price on your product, well, then you're going to look for lead generation, which means someone's going to contact you, and then you will reply to them, an approximate price or a ballpark figure price or a price range. So in that instance, you'll be tracking the actual conversion when someone clicked the button to submit a contact form to you. So you need to track that, because then you can track what's working for you, what's not working for you. Whatever's not working for you, you can cancel or pause it, and whatever is working for you, you can put more money into those ads. So you'll make even more money on Google AdWords. You should always as well be testing. Like if you have a campaign that's working and you're happy with it, do not go in and make changes or even the slightest changes. Copy the ad and then make the changes that way. Because if you have something that's working and you make a change or you make another change and then all of a sudden your ads aren't working, well, you don't know what change you've made. It's very tough to roll back. So just duplicate your ads. And also, if you have an ad that's working, I don't know if I said it before, if it's not broken, don't fix it. If you have AdWords working and it's making you money, be happy with it. Don't complain, and don't try to go and change anything. Exclusions and limits. These are very important, especially at the start, because you could set up an ad tomorrow and find out a day later that Google's, if you set your limit to 100 quid, you're down 100 quid, but you don't have anything from it. So that's not as good as, the next day Google hasn't taken any money off you. You don't have any sales, but you can at least see why they're not taking money off you. And then you can make those changes to try and increase, start off small with small bids rather than having larger bids, because smaller bids, you can just go up, but gradually increment them to the amount that you'd be happy to spend. But I would definitely, and I have a link in the bottom as well, put in negative keywords. And this is very simple. For example, negative keywords such as free or DIY. So if you're a web designer or you're an accountant or you're a painter, you don't want to pay someone who's going to type in free painting services to your website and then them ask you, I want to get my house painted for free. I saw your ad, can you paint my house for free? So remove free, remove DIY, and you check your own industry what a good negative keyword is, but check the link at the bottom as well. Remove your own brands. So for example, the website we have here, Quotage, I don't want someone to type in Quotage and then pay for an ad. If they type in Quotage, they're going to get to my website anyway. So I remove the ads for Quotage. I have that as a negative keyword. Locations. Minimize your locations. Don't have the entire world. Don't even have Ireland. Don't even have Leinster. If you're in Dublin or Laois, select a small location, and if it's not big enough, get bigger. But don't just have a carte blanche everywhere. Your money will be drained quite fast. Have a maximum cost per click. Set it quite small, maybe 10 cent, 20 cent, and work up from there. Don't have no maximum click, so Google can take 10 euro or 20 euro off you before you even know it. And that happened to me. I had an ad campaign when I was starting out. I got home and I realised I was paid 25 euro for one click that didn't make a sale. So at that point I realised the benefits of having all these limitations. Also, you can go into audiences and exclude audiences, and you can exclude maybe people who are on mobile apps, games. Exclude them if you feel you're not going to get sales. But again, limit the amount you spend. If you spend 10 or 20 euro, and your profit is only, say a £5 or a tenner, you realize you need to remove some audiences, or maybe, you should target people between the ages of 20 years old and 40 years old. You're not going to know exactly until you test it, but you need to test it cheaply, and then when you're happy with something, expand the amount of money you want to pay as well. Make sure as well that you have the aim set up as well properly. So if you have a goal that you want to set, make sure you set that right. So your goal, as I said, might be a conversion, it might be a payment through your website, but track them all. Because if you don't track them, you're not going to know what's working and what's not working. Make sure as well that you have some sort of reserves for your marketing budget. As I said, it should be 50% or less. But bear in mind that within that 50%, you're going to make mistakes, and you're going to be trialing and researching with that 50% of your money. So again, if your profit is €100 and you're happy to spend €50 on your ads, of that €50, probably 10 or 20 euro, so probably overall 10% of your marketing, or 20%, will be spent on testing and trialing ads, AdWords, images, videos that might work or might not work. So take that into account. You are going to waste money There's no way to stop that, but you want to just minimize your losses. So try to grow slowly rather than just throwing all your money in and not knowing what you're doing. Very important to use your keywords or your negative keywords. And also remember, as I said, the Google bounce. This is very important as well, because I found that as you pay more money to Google, you tend to move up more organically up the ranks. So let's say, no one will stay in business. If you made 100 quid profit and you had to pay 300 quid to Google for ads, it's not going to work, right? But what happens is the longer you're doing it and the more you tend to spend, you spend 300 on ads or 3,000 on ads, you will see your website move organically higher up. And the more you move up, like at the start, I was paying about 100% for AdWords and 0% traffic. So what started to happen now is that 50% of the traffic is organic, approximately, and 50% is paid ads. So you move up the longer you go, but if you're paying Google ads as well, and people go onto your website through Google ads, and they stay on your website, you're going to move higher up the Google ranking as well. So that's how you will get the Google bounce to go from paying out €3 and only making €1 in profit, so minus €2 profit, to paying out €3 in ads and getting €30 back. You'll still pay Google this money, and you need to pay Google this money. If you don't pay Google this money, there's not many places you can put your money for a marketing budget to reach the people that are typing in, as I said, web designer or flooring contractors near me, or whatever the case may be. So Google will look for €3 for every one you make at the start, but as time goes on, for every €3 you pay them, you should be able to make €30. And even if you're only making 10 or 15 euro after paying 3, that's still a 3 to 5 times return on your ads. And bear in mind, that can work when you sleep. You don't have to work. You don't have to ring people and make any calls or send out any emails. Google is working for you as you sleep. So I think it is very beneficial. If you have any questions, put any comments in the link below. I'll be happy to answer them. And I hope things work out for you and your business. And if you're looking for free leads or lead generation, there's a link below to Quotagé. It's free, and if you make a sale, then you'll pay us a 5% fee for us connecting you. Other than that, it's free to use. And again, best of luck with your business. Have a nice day, folks.